let's see, number 15, report, discussion on, and consideration of approving matters related to the Riverfest. Carl White, tell us your success story, buddy.
Yes, sir. The bottom line is that when we brought this to council about this time last year, we asked council if you wanted to have this event again for 2014. Council said yes, raise sponsorships and come back to us and report in the summer and let us know if you've got sponsorships to host the event. So we did that. We came back to council, we said we had the sponsorships, and then we hosted the event in September. So the bottom line for today is to ask you if you would like this event to continue next year and maybe following years. The goals primarily were to host an event, pretty much all-day event for the community, for to have some fun, to break even financially, if not make a little money, have some economic impact on the city, and to get an attendance between 8,000 and 10,000 people. Last year, our estimated attendance was 7,200. This time it was about 9,200. This year we had a corporate sponsor, Stripes, so the event was called Stripes Riverfest 2014. We learned some lessons from last year, so we consolidated several of the activities into a core area, which is around the Neffs Amusement Park. We started with concerts Friday night and then had a full day of activities ending with concerts at the River Stage Saturday night. Look at the t-shirt. The concert Friday night, we had rain. Rain does seem to exist around Riverfest, and today as well. So we had to move the Friday night concert from the River Stage to the Coliseum. It was a little awkward because they kept, Los Palominos were talking about Riverfest. We were at the Coliseum 2-3 miles away from the river, which is kind of odd. But we had a decent turnout at the concert. A little over 600 folks came. Of course, we were competing with the football on Friday night. Then Saturday morning we started with a Color Up 5K from the fort. I'll go through the pictures very quickly. Lily Fest started, this is the second year, and then the first year we combined Lily Fest with Riverfest. We had some pirates show up. They actually were very fun and engaging. They were just street performers, and they didn't cost us anything. We had the Girl Scout canoe races. We moved them over to this section of the river between Irving and Celebration Bridge, and that worked out very well. They were very pleased with that move. Of course, this shows I think before the Girl Scouts started racing. Not sure why the mayor's not in this picture, but the mayor did race.
That'd like to kill Charlotte now. Charlotte was in there too.
She was.
The only thing that was not fun, I finished dead last, one place behind the mayor. But it was a blast.
The problem was getting out of the canoe once I got in and got through.
I step out. I love seeing these pictures like this, the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat. The Alex Vega with the Vega Washoe pitching tournament, he is always so professional, very organized. We enjoyed having them as a partner with this event. We brought in a car show. We had mascots, Stripes mascots. They had roaming rights to the event. We had a petting zoo, pointing rides again, inflatables. Local musicians played at the Chadwick Street Bridge. We had families enjoying the interactive art, which was cool to see. We had a very successful concession area. This is a street performer. It's Jim Runge from El Dorado. He sprayed himself silver and pretended to be a statue. People would look at him and then he would
That was fascinating.
It was a little different. Kids having fun. Then folks after the Girl Scout races got to try out their skills at canoeing, paddle boating, face painting. The Stripes had a tornado booth where kids got to grab coupons in the booth for free tacos and things like that. And then Saturday night, as it always is, the rain approached and kind of delayed a few of our events at night. Art and Uncommon Places joined us for an interesting event, the Butterfly Door Tours, which is kind of like a scavenger hunt for kids. They got to find these cool little doors that were put on the side of buildings. They did one during the day and they did one at night. You can't tell, but each one glows in the dark, so the kids can find them in the dark. I think there were 7 of them. And about the time as the concert started, we tried something different, and we may actually make it into a smaller event as part of the Riverfest. was the floating lanterns. When we were doing this, we just did it for fun, and we had several people come up to us and ask us what it was about. And we had about 30 people watching us and gave us the idea of maybe trying to have an event around this. And then we ended with a concert Saturday night. And because of the rain, that night there was a deluge on the southwest side of town, and it threatened the river stage for quite a while. It really only gave us a heavy sprinkle there. But we started having about 400 or 500 people at the concert, but then once the sprinkles started, folks left, and we ended up with about 70 or 80 people. In terms of challenges, the weather again was a challenge. We had the two concerts. We had two different promoters, and both promoters wanted to cancel the concerts because they were in it to make money. So we stepped in and saved those two concerts, working with St. Angelo host to promote those events. Color Run, I think we've kind of saturated the market. We collectively saturate the market with color runs. There's probably too many out there now. So we had less numbers than the first year at our color run. Raising the funds, it wasn't easy, but it wasn't real hard, especially when Stripes stepped forward with the corporate sponsorship of $10,000. It took us some time to get all the sponsorships. And of course, competing events. Major pluses, most of the activities were free and affordable. We received several compliments on this. The kids' court area, folks paid $5, and the kids could do all the inflatables, all the kid activities, and we got several compliments on that. And actually, that piece generated almost 5 times as much revenue as we expected. So it was very successful. Got lots of good feedback. We had a decent level of sponsorships, actually a good level of sponsorships. We satisfied our title sponsor. They came up to us at the end of the day and said how much they enjoyed the event, how much they enjoyed the people. The people were very friendly, very engaging, and they wanted to talk with us about next year. So, and they said actually the t-shirt was the best t-shirt design they'd ever seen. They host lots of events. The Washer Pitching Tournament raised $1,700 for the Wounded Warrior Project, and the best news is we ended in the black with about $7,000, not in the red, in the black. Attendance, about 9,200 folks. Most popular activities were the kids' court, the Color Up 5K, the concerts, the Washer Pitching Tournament, and the Girl Scout canoe races. We did meet after the event and talked about lessons learned. With the Lily Fest, if we have it again with River Fest, we'll end it earlier. It probably went on too long. We need to add a separate area for teens, for teen activities, maybe have a sand volleyball court area in tournament. Keep everything affordable. And the wristbands, the comprehensive use of the wristbands has worked very well. We need to have a different theme, twist for the run. We need to consider adding new events like a water slide on Irving Street is one idea that we have, which would have a cost, of course. Do something with the lantern glow on the river. Consider not having a Friday night concert and just having concerts all throughout the day at the River Fest, and then end with the big concerts Saturday night. Modified the food and drink area. It got a little too crowded. We need to improve the layout of it. Perhaps bid out the food and drink concessions. Open the Love Municipal Pool to the public. Add more street performers. And I think that's it. So the bottom line is, do you want this event to happen for next year?
Well, I'll start first, and I will say yes, definitely. This needs to be a perpetual annual celebration. I'll open it up to the council. Any comments? Charlotte?
Absolutely want to have it. Besides that, you have a kitty to start next year. I'd like to make sure that that $7,000 is tagged for Riverfest and Riverfest only expenses for next year. Maybe we can let it grow a little bit. I commend you, Anthony, Brian. You're the only city employees that I saw. I know there were more out there, the only ones, and you guys worked your tails off. It was a act of love. You could tell you were enjoying what you were doing. The people, I made it a point to walk both sides of the river and talk to as many people. I just walk up and ask them how they were enjoying it. They loved it. Everyone loved it. That's the reason I told you I didn't care if we went in the red, that the community camaraderie that was going on was awesome. It truly was. I did get a couple of suggestions for activities. If you could have more activities for adults, especially the seniors. You've got a concrete slab up there. They said even if you just had a little local group, band during the day, they wouldn't mind sitting around or sitting on bales of hay and listening or maybe doing a little old-fashioned two-step up in one area, and also bingo, if you could offer bingo. And of course, people would be willing to pay for a little paper card and you know, have gifts or whatnot, not suggesting play for money, just gifts. And the other suggestion was for children ages 1 to 4, and then have a separate area for children 5 to 10, and have a money dig. And what that amounts to is you can get a sponsor, but it's just big boxes of sand. And you put the coins from pennies, nickels, dimes, quarters, and half dollars in the money dig and let the kids dig for money. They'll dig all day long if you tell them there's money in there. And it's worked at other picnics and stuff, but it keeps the smaller children active and excited. They're digging for money. And it was just more games for adults, more activities. Otherwise, everyone loved it.
Thank you. Further comment?
I remember Carl begging for support for this, so I just want to again congratulate you and the team that helped you for pressing forward when there wasn't a lot of support. As Charlotte said, I think the whole community loved it, so again, congratulations. It'll only get better.
Thank you. Don?
I think it's a great thing. Both years you've had rain. Have you thought about maybe moving it a month one way or the other? You know, maybe
Hosted
August.
every month.
Maybe August instead of September or something like that. But we love the rain, so if you want to keep it there, that's fine too.
That's what it takes.
Yeah.
Comment from the left wing, John?
Yeah, Carl, by looking at a lot of these pictures, I know that this community is hungry for stuff like this. So I kudos to everyone. I say move on with it. And the only two things that I had a question about was, why do you think the color run dropped in attendance, and then also how did I didn't get to play this year, how did the golf tournament go? How do you know the attendance there?
Let's see, they say they had 13, oh, it's on here. It was actually better than last year. 60 participants, so that was 20 teams.
Okay.
It was actually better than last year. Not a lot, but some.
And the color run dropped?
It dropped, it was almost half, and I think it's just there's a saturation of color runs in the market. The Girl Scouts hosted one a few months before us, and I think they only had 150 people.
Because you had, what, 2,000 last year?
We had 2136, and then we dropped about.
What was the
1100.
entry fee on the color run?
It varied. It started out lower, then it went higher. I think the day of it was $50, so it's not cheap. But it starts out like at 30 or 35 a few months before.
Good job.
Rodney?
And the rain, I think the rain had some effect too.
No, just good job. I'm glad it's in the black. When it's in the black, people forget a lot of things. Good job.
Thank you.
That's exactly what I would say. As long as we're making money, I think everybody's happy. As soon as we don't make money, then we'll have a problem.
Understood.
Do we need to?
Or break even, not making,
Yeah, I don't
just
think
break
we-
even. I don't care if we make money.
I hear there's consensus, but
We've got an approval by consensus. If you want approval by vote, I'll call for a vote.
Yeah.
You want to call for a vote?
Let me add something. I know that the Southside Lions Club bring out that little carnival. Have you thought about
yes, yes, sir. Actually, that is one of the things we thought about. We're to reapproach,
that gets
see
a
if we can
lot
get a
of
carnival.
traffic.
We're not sure if we want to bank on the carnival show because we got burned the first time. So if we do get the carnival, we'll probably put it up at the Paseo, or maybe try to fit it in at Neff's if we can.
Right.
It would be a smaller carnival, like the one that was at Cinco de Mayo.
Right.
The year before last, they pulled out on us.
I remember that.
I did have 2 requests for more food locations down the river that, you know, people walked or they just wanted to eat. They didn't bring a picnic basket.
Motion to approve.
That's what I was
Second.
waiting for. Let's make this
Second.
official. Do you have a motion to approve that we continue this? It is a good deal. You did a good job. I'm proud of the way it turned out. I do have a motion to approve. I do have a second. We've had council discussion. Is there any more? Yes, ma'am.
Does that motion include banking the $7,000 kitty designated it for Riverfest? Only?
It is currently in a designated revenue expense account. It just needs to roll over.
Yeah.
As long as they roll it over, I don't have
Is
to
it-
add it.
Yes.
Public comment on this? I'm gonna call for the vote. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Put 7-0 on that, please, sir.
I believe the rollovers are coming to council at the next meeting.
All right, we are now to